So today we will touch upon the verbs and adverbs, and that would be the whole kind of presentation on Sanskrit language as it is used by the Vedic rishis, because it has a very special power, and we want to see that power of Sanskrit language. So if I project this, we went through the nouns and the verbs we didn't touch, and here are the verbs. So the verbs are of two kinds, yes? Sarvadhatukas and Ardhadhatukas, two big divisions made from pre-Paninian grammar. So before Panini. Panini is 500 BC, so all those grammarians who were before already had that division. So it says something very technical. That Sarvadhatukas are all the roots. There are more than 2,100 roots in Sanskrit language, original roots, yeah, simple roots,
Uh-huh.
which is more than in any other language ever. Yeah? For example, Latin has 150 roots. Sanskrit has 2,100 roots. Because from the root you can produce many words. So, so this division is important because of Sarvadhatukas embody all 2,100 roots. So each root will have 4 of these categories: lat, lang, lot, vidhiling. These are technical words which mean lat means present tense, lang means past tense, imperative lot, and ling or vidhiling optative or potential. I give here examples with bhavati.
Yes, I don't remember optative and imperative to an extent. If you can help me with examples, that'll help.
Imperative is like sit, go, yeah. It's a command.
Okay, got it.
So there are two moods, which is imperative mood and optative mood, and two tenses, present and past.
Got it.
And notice there is no future tense at all. So,
Oh, and this is for all 2,100 roots.
yes.
Okay.
And this technical term is sarvadhatuka, all the roots, yeah. So if you have one verb, suppose any verb in Sanskrit, you must have a present tense, you must have a past tense because present is built on the past, you must have an imperative, you should command with a word like sit, look, go. Otherwise there is no verb. Verb is defined by imperative mood. You command, it's logos. It's an expression of will. And finally, potential mood or optative is including all possible modalities. Modalities such as you should, you must, you can, you
Got it.
could, would, and so on. Better to remember should would, easy. But this should, would, can, shall is all falling into one potential mood, which is actually playing the role of the future tense also. So in Sanskrit originally there is no future tense. In the Veda, in the Rig Veda, you will not find a future tense, but you will find many modalities. And truly speaking, if you start thinking about this, you will find that modalities play the role of the future tense in general. There is no future tense. If you say that I shall or I will go tomorrow to the school, you mean to say that you have a will to go tomorrow to the school. You decide it. You have a will, you have an intention. But Will this happen? You don't know. Yeah? You cannot be sure about the future tense. So future tense is the modality. Yeah? It is some kind of intention, desire, capacity, possibility, and so on, need. So there are several major modalities. It is of the capacity or ability, can, to must, yes, to be obliged, to need, to be in need of, and to wish, to desire. So these four modalities are universal. They are in all languages. So if you want to learn language, you better learn these four modalities because this is how we express ourselves. And all of them fall into the potential mode.
And potential is optative, right?
Optative, yes. Or potential or optative. We call them both ways, yes. Just I put two names in case you meet another definition like potential. So now we know what is optative. Optative is that projection, intention for things to happen. Whereas imperative is a command, a direct command. Sit, go, look. In optative, it is also considered to be a command, but a polite command. Would you like to sit? So you will have to choose yourself. I'm offering you the option, and you choose it yourself. Whereas imperative is not like this. You obey my command. Yeah? So these are two moods, but present and not present, as I write it here, past tense. I write it not present because of definition of Panini, um, which he says it is not today. Yes. Interesting definition because present tense is actually enough to describe all the activities. We are doing this in our language also. For example, I can describe by present tense the past events or the future events. For example, I am going to the cinema tomorrow. Yeah? So this I am going is a present tense, but I add tomorrow and it plays the role of future.
Future.
But the past also is very interesting. It can be described like yesterday I go to the city and I meet this guy and I tell him, you know, you are doing wrong. So everything I speak in present tense, by defining yesterday, is enough really to use the present tense. So present tense describes all times. Yeah, it's an amazing power. So it's descriptive of the events. It's more like Yaska was defining it as a predicate, rather secondary name to the major name. So it
And how did
stays.
the past and future come into picture, Vladimir?
Yes, now yes, from this present, when we move to the past, this lang, not present, is interesting because um, anadyatane lang, yes, this definition, not today, not in this today's time. So it means it happened, it took place, but not definitely not in this time. Yeah? So there is no other definition of it. We call it sometimes imperfect. Imperfect means we do not know whether it is done, finished, but we know that it belongs to some other time. And if you look at the form, like bhavati is the present tense and abhavat is the past tense, so you will see something interesting. Bhavat. Bhavat is actually the participle, which means being. Yeah? Being a being. Yeah? So being a being, so that at the end is doing something interesting. That ending is changing the whole perspective of this participle to be, being, actualizing it in this moment of time, bhavati. Whereas abhavat, we spoke about this of the a and e, how they play their role, even in Tamil, either, other, yes, you have this. So you have it in many languages. Idam, adah in Sanskrit, which is, I think, the same in Tamil. So this a is shifting kind of farther away, especially in front. It makes it like non-actual being, yeah? Non-actual not now, being not now. And that not now may fall only into the past. It cannot fall into the future.
Oh, I was about to ask that question. Can it be both past and future? Because it's not present, not this time, but it is.
Should be in the mind, we should think so. But if you analyze it deeper, when it is not now, yeah, being not now, it does not have intention. So that intention or will, yeah, which optative has, it is absent there. And because of that intention being absent, it cannot belong to the future. Because future, there is no future. There is only intention for the future. This is what I've tried to kind of to analyze with you, that the future is impossible as it is. Future tense is impossible, but the intention to do something tomorrow is there. So if intention is absent, then the verb falls immediately into the past, because there is no intention for it to be in the future. Funny.
So, a question here. One thing that's kind of popping in my mind. When we read Savitri, Vladimir, we have this verses where Sri Aurobindo talks about the children of tomorrow, and they will be doing this. The children who is going to come tomorrow, and how they will be and what they will be, and all these things, right? As a part of Savitri, how will our Sanskrit represent that? So will that not come in Abhavat, because that is future and there is an intention?
You mean optative, bhavet, yes.
So that's all potential.
Yes,
Got it.
right. I didn't tell one thing which I should have told, with that what I'm saying now is belonging to the original Rigvedic language, yes. Later, in the post-Vedic period, the future tense becomes very prominent, yeah. In the mental structure of consciousness, the future comes into being, and we start using it. And Sanskrit has two future tenses, yeah. But interestingly, the same form of the future tense, which is in the post-Vedic Sanskrit, in the Veda has a role of modality or desire. And if you analyze those forms where they occur in the text, you will see that it is not a future tense, but a modality. Yeah, what you wish to do. For example, karishyati will be what you will do, and in the Vedic Sanskrit, karishyati will be that what you want to do. So this wanting, willing, wishing is
Happens in
important.
the, but doing might be in the future, might or might not be, right? That's what you mean.
Yeah, in the future, we must have this will, wish, intention. Yeah, without it, there is no future. Even in English, I will go means I will to go. Yeah? That means I have a will to go. It doesn't mean that I'm not 100% sure that I will go tomorrow, because tomorrow is not here yet. But I have a will to go tomorrow.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and slowly it became like in our mind a future tense, which we operate kind of half legitimately, yeah? So to say. We
I
remove.
go is, or I will go is the will to go, right? You're right.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, how do I say? Interestingly, we never think like that. I
Mm-hmm.
will go means I am for sure going. I will. It's highly likely that I go. Is where we say that.
Mm-hmm.
There is a high probability of me going, where it might or might not. But technically, we assume I will go means I'm 100% going, which is actually not true.
Yeah, 100% I will now, but going is in question. Mm, right. So Sanskrit knew that, and that's why in Sanskrit, in the Sarvadhatuka forms, we do not have a future tense, but we have modalities. These very modalities, wish, will, they are there. So they are playing role of the future tense. So present plays everything, non-present belonging to the past. That means non-actual. We do not know where it belongs. And since it doesn't have that intention, most probably it belongs to the past. So we call it imperfect. Something which took place, or let us say, which is not actual now. Yeah? So then we translate it as was abhavat. Was, but it is not totally correct in English. Yeah? It is something which is not now, and that is what it was. So being not now means being in some other place, or non-actual time. Um, and interestingly, this augment is also playing role of non-actualizing the adjectives and nouns. So you can say satyam, asatyam. Yes, asatyam is the truth which is not actual. That means lie.
That's good. Yeah.
Or anything of that kind. Yeah, you can put everywhere in front, and it would mean non-actualizing that particular quality. So bringing it to some other space or time or context. So you're saying asatyam means you're saying the truth which is not applicable here. That means lie.
How about adjective? What can you give me an example of an adjective as well?
Asundara.
Asundara, the first thing. Okay, Sundara, Asundara.
Yeah. Well, the same role. By the way, adjectives and nouns in Sanskrit are very close. Most probably all the nouns are, truly speaking, adjectives. They are descriptive of some reality. Yeah? So like Shivaha. Shiva is the blissful, or the one who is merciful. Yeah? So merciful becomes the name. Yeah? It's always Satya, true, becomes truth. Yeah, Satyam.
I
So
remember mentioning that the name in the beginning of the session, that the name itself is formed through a dominant characteristic of a particular thing, right? Like, and that becomes, because of common usage of that, it becomes a name. A name becomes a noun.
right, right. You describe so Ashva is the running. Yeah, running is an adjective. It tells us what it does. Yeah, asanda or asanam is the sitting thing. It tells us what it does. So this description of the object, or giving it a particular characteristic, becomes the name. Yeah? So adjectives and nouns are so close in Sanskrit that sometimes you don't know how to even translate in what way, noun or adjective. Yeah? So they are so close. Uh, and that is the original feature of Sanskrit. So now this is the Sarvadhatukas. So if you look at this, you see that for the language to function, you have to have present tense, because you have to describe the event. Yeah? You have to have something which is not actual, something past tense, and you have to have two modalities. One is wishing to do, and other is commanding. That's it. This is the limited number of things we need for the language to function. And this would be enough, actually. There are more which make Sanskrit very difficult language, and these are ardhadhatukas, because Sanskrit lived long time, yeah, thousands of years, and developed many different forms. And these forms we will look into briefly because they are not so important for us for now.
We go into Ardhadhatukas, Vladimir. What is active and middle? What does that mean?
Parasmaipadam, atmanepadam. Yes, it's a word for active, parasmai for the other, and atmane, word for oneself. Whatever we use in Sanskrit, in English, when we say self, and I sing to myself, this is atmanepadam, middle voice.
Atmane Padam and
Parasmaipadam.
Okay, for another person. Atmani Padam. Okay, got it. Yeah, I didn't read through.
So you can speak to yourself or you speak to others. Yeah, you sing to yourself or you sing to others. Right. These are two things. So Ardhadhatukas are many more forms which evolved from maybe Sarvadhatukas, like aorist. There are 7 types of aorists. Very elaborated system, kind of extended, lung. It's a past tense. It's very similar to what we know as lang, not present. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect is amazing in one regard, that perfect tense is actually considered to be as a past. We translate it as a past, but it is not the past. Yeah. It is something which you have done. So you have it done. Yeah, this is perfect. You have it now, something which was finished. So it is like present tense with complete action.
Okay, so like you did this is past tense, you have done this is
right,
which is also past. Okay, got it.
It's past, but not totally the past. It's a weird thing. Even in English, you cannot say, for example, we do not know this because maybe you know, but those who are not English speaking from the originally, they do not know. Even English people do not know this. That you cannot use, for example, I have done it yesterday, or I have done it 1 hour ago. You cannot say this.
That yes.
You could feel it. There's something is wrong because you transmit it to the past when you have it now. So it doesn't work that way. So you can say only I did it 1 hour ago, or I have done it without reference to time. So without reference to time, you can use perfect. In Sanskrit, there are more restrictions for perfect, which I don't want to go into, but for example, perfect in the first person is never used. It is considered to be improper. For example, chakara, aham chakara, I have done. Yeah? You cannot say this because that it is considered to be something which you become unaware of. I will not go into it for now. Let us skip it for now, because this is maybe for some longer discussion. I want to come to adverbs, and this is a big topic, adverbs. So perfect is unique in Sanskrit. It is used mainly in the third person. So you can say sahachakara, he has done. Yeah? But you cannot use it in the first person or second person very rarely. You have perfect everywhere in Mahabharata, Ramayana, in all the Puranas, they love perfect. Yeah, like Arjuna Uvacha. Uvacha. Uvacha is perfect. It's a reduplicative perfect. Chakara, uvacha, and so on. Future, two future tenses, they are coming from the optative modalities and they become future tenses fixed. Conditional mood is the past, future in the past, like I would done it, I would have done it, I would do, I could, would, should, all these which are future oriented modalities turned into the past. I would do it, yes. So I will do it in the past. I would do it means I will do it if something would not happen, so to say.
I should have done it. That is
I
not
should
correct.
have done it, yes, another thing. So this conditional mood is the future in the past, basically. Benedictive is like, be um, like giving blessings. It's actually a optative. And conjunctive mood, which is only in the Veda, that, which is very rare. And there is one more injunctive mood, which I didn't put here, but because Panini does not list it, as lakaras. So Panini has all these verbs defined as lakara, and starting with l, lat, lang, lot, vidhi, ling, lung, you see, lit, lut, lrit, lring, Asherling let. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Actually, Asherling and Vidhiling are connected, or Ling connected. So 10 lakaras. 10. So these are the technical words. They have no meaning other than defining those particular forms of the verbs. Why they are ardhadhatukas? Because not all the forms have aorist, for example. Only 250 verbs have aorist forms. Not all the verbs. Not all the verbs have perfect. Not all the verbs have future. So some forms have. Whereas sarvadhatuka have all the verbs. All these forms will be there. Okay, now I'm finished with the verb. And I'm coming to the big question kind of thing. I do not know whether you can see it properly.
I I projected it on a TV so I can see it.
Okay. So here we are with avyayas, or avyayas means indeclinable, infinite, yes, inexhaustible. They are not defined neither by time, nor space, nor any other. So they are not changing. So what is interesting in the avyayas, how they organize Sanskrit text, is these are the most used words in Sanskrit languages. If you know this one table, you can say that you know 50% of Sanskrit language.
This is the cheat sheet, is it?
Kind of, yeah. But we have to understand how they build. Once we understand, it's very easy to use it. So it's very regular. Sanskrit is supremely regular language. And you can see that categories we have. Substantive, that means something is there. Then there is a space, there is cause, there is time, manner, aim, number, quality, and abstract name is not so important. But these kind of substantive, space, cause, time, manner, aim, number, quality are very important categories, mental categories. So what substantive tells us, there is something, someone. That something, someone can be expressed in terms of question, who, what, or in terms of relative, who, what, relative. In Sanskrit, it is different word. In English, is the same. Who is coming to our house? Who comes to our house? He is my teacher. This who is relative. Who is coming to our house is a questioning word. So the same who twice. Yeah? But in Sanskrit, there are two different. Kah yah or kim yat. Yeah?
So who is coming? You use
Yeah.
Kim.
Yaha. Yaha agachati saha mama guruhu. Who is coming? He is my guru. Yaha saha. Yeah? Who? He. So I will use yah, not kah. And if I say kaha agachati, then it means who is coming, questioning. So you will see that all questioning words starts with k, all.
So so who is coming? You will use kaha. So where use yaha?
Yaha agachati, who comes? Saha, he is mama guru, my guru. So it's a relative one. Yes, the same as who comes to my house, he is my teacher. So this is who comes to my house, who is the relative one. It builds relative sentence. Where, there, who, he. Yeah, when, then. When he comes, then he speaks. This is relative when, not questioning when.
Got it. Got
So
it.
you should have in Tamil also different. In Hindi you have different also.
In
Jab, kab, jab.
makes sense. Okay, I understood now.
So we have questioning, we have relative, we have pointing far, that, and we're pointing near, this, that and this. So these would be the most pointing who relative, that, this, four of them. This is the major scheme. So you have, for questioning words, you have ka at the beginning through all the words. For relatives, you have ya through all the words, no exception. Through pointing far, you have ta through all the verbs of words. And for pointing near, you have always vowel at the beginning. Like tat, etat, tatra, atra, tatach, atach, tada, ida. So always with vowel, either e, a, or e. In the Vedic language, these e, a, and e were different, but in the classical they became kind of one. There is no distinction. So you can have idam is the closest this, yeah, but etat is a little farther this. But no, not anymore in classical Sanskrit. So this distinction, an adach is that already. Yeah? Idam, etat, adach. This is the distribution. Maybe in Tamil it's more understood than in Sanskrit actually, because of id, ad.
Yes, idu adu. But we don't have that much of distinction. Like you said, the three levels of distinction, it's not there in.
Right. It is only in Vedic Sanskrit.
Not there.
Yeah.
Yaha, vaha.
Yeah.
You don't that positioning of the distance in both of these languages. It's very interesting.
Right. So here we are. Let us look. And then there are suffixes. Suffixes which are added to those questioning, relative, pointing far, pointing near. Tra suffix means actually transitioning, crossing, yes, from root 3. But suffix tra means pointing where direction or pointing where location. So it has two questions, where to or where is. When it is used with the verb to be, then it is always location. When it is used with the verb to move, it is always pointing where. So kutra has two meanings. Kutra tishtati, where is he staying? Or kutra gachati, where does he go?
Got it.
As an object. So it kind of corresponds to two different cases, to the locative case, location, and to the accusative case as the object, yeah, where you go. So two cases in this, tra suffix, substantive belongs to nominative case, yeah, as we understand. It's like nomination, but the first case. Prathama vibhakti, yeah? Who, what. And the second tra suffix is the accusative case, dvitiya vibhakti and saptami vibhakti and locative case. Now, if you add tra suffix, kutra, where, question, yatra, relative, tatra, yatra gacchati, tatra vadami, where he goes, there I speak. So you can put yatra tatra in this relative end. And then tatra or atra, sorry, here is pointing near. And then you can add actually any of the other words, like every, sarvatra. How would you translate sarvatra?
All of these things I've read. Now I'm able to understand. Sarvatra, ekatra,
Yeah.
bahutra, purvatra, all those things. Yeah.
Yeah, once you know the technology, you really don't need translation because you can immediately make up your own translation. Yeah?
This is very nice. Thank you, Vladimir, for it gives a perspective of how these things arrive.
Right, right. And even in the Vedic language, which is no more the case in the later, is you can add it to any substantive like deva. Devatra means among the gods, in the presence of the gods. So you could have used tra suffix with substantives. I can say like manushya among people, or grihatra among the houses, yeah, or around the houses. So in location of the houses or towards the houses. This was used in the Vedic language, but no more. You can't find these words in the classical. It's prohibited. But it shows us how it was used. It was more, how to say, it was more analytic than synthetic. So that tra suffix had that influence. Then suffix tach with cause, where from. So if I move there, then it is tra, so I go there. But when I go from there here, it is suffix taha. So kutaha, where from, or yataha, where from relative, where from you come, there from I come. Or yataha has a meaning also of because, from where. From where has a meaning of because. Tataha, there from, ataha, here from, or from here. Sarvatach, from everywhere. Ekatach, from one side. Anyatach, from another side. Itaratach, and so on. Bahutach, from many sides.
Yeah.
And tach you can use with any substantive without exclusion. So you can say vriksha, tree, vrikshataha, from the tree. Hasta, the hand, hastataha patati, falls from the hand. So you can use from with any substantive. Yeah? Devataha, from the god. Naditaha, from the river. Take any substantive, any gender, and add tach, and you will have it. Time. Time is interesting in one way. So we have substantive moving there, moving from there here. This is the major two movements. Me going there, me coming back. But then time. Time is something which is also moving, but we do not see the space. Yeah. So because our planet is moving around itself, around the sun, so we can't locate the space. Yeah. So we say time on the scale of time, 1 day, 2 days. Yeah, we count differently the movement in space by time. So that has da suffix, kada, yada, tada. You know this, kada when, yada relative when, tada then, ida, idanim now, or adhuna, also another word. Sarvada, always.
All the
Yes, every time. Ekada, once upon a time. Sada, always. Anyada, some other time. But these are there are no das used with substantives or other words, yeah, so they're restricted in usage in time. This is what is available in the dictionary. So with tha suffix, I'll leave the rehi out. It's more if then rather than when then. If then. Manner, how. So we have time, we have movement from here to there and from here to there, and also on the scale of time. And now we can move from here to there in a particular manner, slowly, happily, unhappily, and so on. So it answers to the question how. And this is interesting. Yes, because the manner, and that is tha suffix. So katham or tham. Katham, how, yatha, as, tatha, thus, in that way, atha, in this way. So I would have sarvatha in every way, ekatha in one way, yeah, anyatha, itaratha, what is it? In other way, it's just messed up. Bahutha in many ways, purvatha in previous way, in how it was done previously. Not all the words possible to translate in one word. You will have to find the meaning of it in English. Yeah, maybe.
So when you have an adjective to this, or rather not adjective, like in English adjective, like, happily, when you said he's going happily, or he's going fast.
Yeah, happily is interesting because then we will use, notice it is answering to the question how, and that falls into the instrumental case, Tritiya Vibhakti. So Tritiya Vibhakti can be used to create that what you said, Sukhena. Sukhena means happily, yes? With happiness, by happiness, happily. So you don't need to have suffix tha, you can use it as vibhakti. Now notice we have nominative, accusative space, and locative. Locative is also time, location in time. Cause, it is ablative case, where from. And now manner is instrumental case. So they fall into cases. Interesting. So it's how we arrange our space. So these 7 cases, major 7 cases, actually arrange all our relations, or meaningful relations. And they are projected here in avyayas. So, and then we have dha omit. It's very similar to tha. I think it's most probably a development of tha in a particular, pronunciation. Then we have aim, which is interesting. What for? Dative case. Why or what for? Artham. The word artham, which means the object or the aim or the meaning, is added to the questioning word kim artham. What for? What's the object? What's the aim? Yadartham, relative, tadartham, for that purpose, etadartham, for this purpose. And artham can be added to any word or any substantive. Sarvartham for everyone, ekartham for one, anedartham, anyadartham for another one, for another case, and so on. Vrikshartham for the tree, Grihartham for the house, Sanskritartham for Sanskrit, and so on. You can add artham in the sense what for. What is the
What for? Okay. Interestingly, we have in Tamil also you have artham, which is also similar to Hindi, artha. It's actually it says its meaning.
right? Absolutely.
What for? Okay.
Artham has many meanings. It has a meaning, has an object, has the wealth. Purusharthas, there's 4 Purusharthas, of which one is Artha. There is Artha Shastra, with Artha as an object, as a wealth, property also. So this is that strange word, many loaded with many meanings. So here we are. We have nominative, accusative, locative, ablative, instrumental, and dative. We are coming to the end of our what do you call it? Vibhaktis, cases. So we have number, interesting, how many, only few words are used, kati, yati, tati, nothing more. Kati, how many, yati, that many, also how many, relative, tati, that many. So you can use yati pustakani, tati, swikaromi, how many books, that much, those I take. So you can use in this way, no more, only these. These are numbers, they belong to the nominative, only in the number, two or many. So multiplying the substantive. And then quality, interesting, belongs to what we know as genitive case. How great, how big, it is a qualifier, kiyat. Tavat, yavat, that much, this much, etavat, this much, sarvavat, as everyone, ekavat, as one. We use it as. So it's a qualifier. Interesting. You're going to use it also with all the substantives. Mitravat, as a friend. Vrikshavat, as a tree, like the tree. You can use also suffix drish. Drish means seeing. Drishti. So kidrish, how does it look like? Tadrish, as that. Etadrish, as the sadrish, similar. So drish can be added, but it's not really given here in the dictionary. And that's it. An abstract name, you have tvam and ta suffixes, which create these abstractions like tattvam, thatness, kintvam, whatness, etatvam, thisness, sarvatvam,
Everythingness.
Everythingness, yes. Ekatvam, oneness, anyatvam, otherness, bahutvam, manyness, devatvam, divinity, manushyatvam, humanity. So you have this ness, ship, t suffixes in English, which are making abstract names.
Where do you use ta? Tvam is, I've heard tvam more, know.
Ta
Where?
is also used, yes. Like ahanta, idanta, idamta, for example. Thisness, ahanta, I-ness. So you use in the same way as tvam, ekata. You use ekata, yes?
Ekata, I can.
Yes. So this is ta instead of tvam. You can use either or. So here, the whole system, there is nothing else in Sanskrit. So you can see all the cases, all the suffixes, they are absolutely regular. You can recognize the meaning of them. You can read now all these words whenever you meet them. You can figure out your meaning.
Perfect. I'm going to take enough time to kind of go back, absorb, refer, figure out. But thank you so much for this.
Yes. For me, it was a kind of a very easy way out. When I teach Sanskrit, I always give this scheme because it gives you an overall understanding how words are built, and how they regulate the text. And then you start using it. Yatra tatra, yatach tatach, yadata da, yatha tatha, as so, yatra tatra, where there, yatach tatach, because therefore, Yada tada, when then, yeah. So it's very easy. Yati tati, how many is that many? So these are used, relatives are always used with second one, yes, with tatra, yatra, tatra. You cannot use yatra without tatra. When you say yatra gacchami tatra mama griham asti, where I go, there is my house. Yeah? You must use tatra.
I know it's like you said, everything, all of those relative pointing for in Hindi, it's there. Yaha, jaha, waha.
Yes, ja, yes, ja is for ya, absolutely. Ja, yeah, baha.
Yaha, waha. Yes.
Right. All right. Basically, this is it. This is our the end of our kind of journey for this introduction for the Vedic rishis, Sanskrit, ancient. So you will have some idea how a language operates, how it is transparent, easy to read. This is the most regular language, in spite of living for thousands of years, more than 6,000 years, definitely.
We say a lot of, I've said, we've chanted quite a bit in my, so, a lot of times you understand the meaning kind of intuitively, but you are not able to form a sentence just because you did something. But now, this is very, very nice. Thank you so much.
Right. No, it becomes more, yeah.
Interestingly, I learned Sanskrit in my 11th and 12th grade, but it was very, very, it was not maybe taught in this way. For us, it was more like, okay, memorize this. Okay. It was
Right.
not interesting. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So, okay, we will close with mantra. So, to say, Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayam Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet Om Shanti 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 Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om Hari Om.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.